everywhere people understand that it is inconceivable that as the richest country in the world, that we would be the only major country that does not guarantee health care to every person. Today in the United States of America, 30 million people are uninsured. 40 million people are underinsured. And we have the most expensive healthcare system in the world. But here's the thing. We have some of the worst outcomes in the world. Every day, too many Americans are sick and dying because they can't afford insulin or cancer treatments. And that is even as the price of prescription drugs is soaring. The price of insurance premiums is going up by double digits overnight. Americans are filled with worry. So, is this a bold and ambitious plan? Damn straight it is. Because it has to be. The scale of our healthcare crisis is enormous, and our plan has to tackle the deep sickness within our for-profit system. Here's the thing. If we can end slavery, if we can give women the right to vote, if we can send a man to the moon, then God, we can do universal health care for every American.
And welcome back to Conservative News Channel on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to talk about the myths associated with healthcare in America and the desire that everyone has for free healthcare and the Democrats' promise to deliver Medicare free for all. It's impossible, and we're going to talk about why. We're also going to talk about why is big business behind free Medicare for everybody? Why are state and local governments wanting it so badly? Why are everyone who has trouble paying their bills because of healthcare costs want it? But what are you going to end off with when you get it? First of all, let's get a few statistics going so that you can understand exactly what's taking place and what will happen if it was to pass in America. Medicare for all. If you look at all the way across America, we have a U.S. citizen averages $59,000 or $59,000 per family in America is their income. Under current Medicare, you're paying about $600, which pays for the elderly and or people who can't afford insurance. If you'll look at the proposal that the Democrats have put through, they'll transfer you to a different page and a different line number to what is their proposed cost, although they spend 2.5 paragraphs saying that we don't know what it's going to cost, we don't know what the rate will be, so on and so forth. But they give you an idea that you're going to pay 5% of your pay for Medicare. That means you're going to go from paying $600 a year for Medicare to $2,900. The way you read it, it suggests that $2,300 a year more, just a few $100s a month, is going to cover the cost, and everyone is going to be happy. Well, let's take a look at what the actual costs are going to be, because politicians have a way of saying, it's going to be cheap, and then after it's implemented, oh, we were wrong. We're going to need to go after lots and lots more money. All right, let's go ahead and look. The projected healthcare spending in America for 2020 is $8.7 trillion by the American people. There are only 137 million people working in America. That number might go up to 139 or 140. We don't know, but we'll go ahead and take the 137 million currently working. And when we divide the 8.7 trillion cost by 137 million working Americans, we get a per working employee in America cost for health care of $63,503. There's a little bit of a math error here for those Democrats. How can you get $2,300 a year per working American and cover the cost $63,506? Basically, the way it looks to me is that people will have to give 100% of their paycheck plus find a second job that you can do under the table to pay the shortfall from $59,000 to $63,000. What always happens, in fact, you're hearing it with the Democrats right now, talking about how we have to go to a 70 or 90% tax rate. Although they're fluffing that, saying that this is only going to be charged to people making over $5 million a year, or $10 million a year, or $300,000 a year. Not possible. Look at Europe. They introduced a VAT tax to help pay. What is a VAT? A VAT in America, we call it a sales tax, except a VAT is applied at the wholesale level instead of the retail level. As a result, when you buy your goods, that money, those taxes are packed in. Right now, that rate's 20%. Plus, their income tax rates are higher than ours. Plus, they come up with fees for parking anywhere you go to. They have fees for everything. If you own a television set in the UK, you got to pay $150 a year to have that TV in your home. And if you don't, you'll go to jail, you'll get fined because they want their service revenue. I was reading that the average male in the UK, in all of those BS ancillary costs that the UK applies from every direction, pays $14,000 a year. Interestingly enough, the average woman in the UK only pays a little less than $8,000. Their income tax rate, top rate's 45%. So when you apply the VAT, sales tax of 20%, 45% income tax top rate, plus you add all the services and BS fees that they're going to force you to spend money on, you're spending an enormous amount of money. And what are you spending it on in the UK? The bulk of it actually is health care. And they're a ton smaller than we are. You got to ask yourself a question. If it's going to hurt Americans so badly, why does everybody want to do it? Big business is 100% behind it. You know why? Because right now big business has an enormous number of retired people that they promised health care till the day they died. Guess what? That's premiums that they have to pay. Look at the employees. When you go hire for a decent-sized company, they subsidize your health insurance, so you're only paying a small part of the actual cost of the insurance. Guess what? They no longer have to pay anything for health insurance for employees. It goes to you, the employee. That is good business, if you ask me. It screws the worker, especially the lower paid workers, but guess what? It's good for big business. Then you got state and local government. They have the same problem. They're offering ridiculously good insurance to all their employees. Also, all their retired teachers, their retired everything from firefighters to police to administrative in the state house. They're having to pay insurance. Well, guess what happens when this kind of a program's implemented? Boom, all those costs are gone. It's been transferred to the individuals. So when you really look at it, it's the biggest boondoggle in American history. It's been because socialist nations have adopted it already and screwed their people. The U.S. media, which loves anything socialist, says this is the right thing to do. But how in the world did they get us to even consider such a stupid, blatant move? Well, Obama showed us with Obamacare. We didn't have a problem with health care prior to Obamacare. We had, 40 million people uninsured? By the way, we have 30 million uninsured now. And the 10 million that got insurance, that's because they are below the poverty line and they got free insurance from Medicaid. They're not paying anything for that insurance. Did it solve the problem? No. But what did it create? How about me personally? My monthly cost of insurance before Obamacare was $585 a month. That covered everything. I had a $2,000 deductible. It was a gorgeous plan, what was considered a Cadillac plan today, and that was for my son, my wife, and myself. Today, I pay $1,856 a month for Obamacare. They sure did me a good job. $1,000 a month more, over $1,000, and they're delivering substantially less insurance than I paid substantially less for before the ACA. So why did they do that to the American people? They did that because they wanted you to have higher rates. They wanted to break the system, which is what they did, and they wanted you to say, ooh, I want it free. Well, there is nothing free. That's the reason socialism doesn't work anywhere it's applied. The fact of the matter is, it just gets put into taxes, and it may be 4 or 5 different taxes scattered around to collect that money, but you can be darn sure they can't pay what they don't have. Right now in the U.S., we're spending over $4 trillion a year, and we're only bringing in about $3.1 trillion a year. So we're already running $1 trillion a year deficit. Look at the $8.7 trillion that would be added if we went with Medicare for all and there was no massive corresponding increase in individual taxes. The fact of the matter is, it would have to be ridiculously large in order to achieve success. But as always with Washington, the boondoggle is, let's tell them it'll cost $1 when it's really going to cost 37, and let's get them thinking they're going to get something for nothing, so they'll support it. Do you want to support taking healthcare costs away from your individual state governments and away from corporate America and saddling it onto your own back? That, if the media told the truth, is what they'd be asking. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, think about it. It's really us, the thinkers, that have to inform the public the mistakes they're making. Before they do, though, let's do our best to educate. With that said, I hope you'll take the time to like and subscribe, and go ahead and push that little bell button. Check the box to confirm notifications before you accept the change. That's the only way you'll be notified when we put up a video. With that said, I'll see you in the next video.